Here's my Gekko guide on Pearl. We're going to start with defense on B. And I very rarely play towards B at the start because generally you don't really have the best of abilities for defending B. You're really good at actually, well, you're better at the post plant of this site, but not so much great at like actually defending it. So one of the best dizzies you can do early on, or like to detect B long, is this one, which is pretty decent, but it doesn't detect some things, which isn't great. And on top of that as well, you're also exposing yourself to mid. So it's not exactly the best place to be throwing this from, because you're going to be like kind of deterred, or you're going to be potentially punished for throwing this. So you don't really want to be doing it. Even though it is the best one, I don't really like playing towards B, so I don't really throw it very often either. There are times where I will, but for the most part, don't really do it. There are some moshes that are good as well. This mosh will like fully block off the choke point, and then you've got this jump throw, which will hopefully get to this corner here. And might actually throw that a bit weak. You can throw it a bit harder than that, a bit better than that. And also this one as well, where you can kind of throw it like this. You can also do this through the smoke as well. Just like referencing this roof and this box, it's pretty easy to kind of get the mosh right, because it's always going to bounce in this corner if you throw it high enough, and it will always hit this corner if it bounces off the box like that. So it should be fairly easy to get this molly, even if you're smoked off here. The other thing as well is Wingman, and Wingman's fairly useless here, but he is really, really important to be using on the post plant. So you can use him early on. In fact, it's probably better you do use him when you're taking fights and that kind of stuff. But make sure you can try and pick him up. Because in post plant you are going to be very, very, like, not exactly important, but it's going to be a lot stronger when you can use Wingman in post plants for the defuse. And speaking of post plants, we'll talk about them now. One of the main things about Gekko is that I play towards A, sometimes I play towards mid, and that's obviously going to influence where I come from. Generally, on the post plant, I like to play towards CT and like the tunnel area or tower area, or like heaven, because the B hall area, this area here, is really, really important to the attackers, because if they hold this area for long enough, then it's going to make the job of the people in B main or B long a lot easier, because they're going to delay a lot of time, and so it's going to be easier for them to delay enough time for the bomb to blow up, basically. So generally getting B hall control early in post plant is really, really important, and Gekko's good at doing that. He can do it with, especially from CT. It's a lot harder from here, so I don't really like coming from this position, because I can't really do my job in the post plant, right? And generally my job is going to be clear this by any means necessary, right? And if you do have both Wingman and Dizzy up, you should use Wingman and Dizzy in this order to clear, because they have to shoot both things, or generally they'll probably just try and hide. And Wingman will actually detect them if they're not completely tucked against the wall. He will actually get them if they're not like fully tucked in. So he is pretty good at fully clearing this. You can also use your ult alternatively as well, and your ult is also obviously really good for this too. Just make sure you leave it in a place where you can get it easily, like this corner, like these two corners. Either one is fine. And then once you want to use him again, crash again, you can just like run over here and use this for long, once you've kind of got control of ball. And obviously he's pretty, generally Thrash is pretty good when you're using it. If you use it close enough to enemies, it's usually really, really good. So yeah. The other things in post plant as well is the mosh. Very rarely do I have it up though, but yeah, if you do have it up, it's usually just a free throw to either here or back over there. Probably need to jump for that one. Yeah, need to jump for that one. But yeah, usually it's just a free throw. I even missed it again. Okay, nice. Okay, so that's it for like post plant on B. Once you pick up the stuff from halls, you generally want to put Wingman on the defuse, and then it frees you up to have your gun out to contest them contesting Wingman. So yeah, that should basically be it, right? You can also on the post plant as well. You can also do this like this. This is fine to go fight them, especially if there's a smoke here as well. You can like disable the smoke and fight through the smoke. That is also a possibility. And next we'll talk about mid. So on mid, you can do some stuff early in mid to support your teammates. You can do this straight up over here like this to detect mid. Also detects some of mid shops as well, which is quite good. You can also do a dizzy on the other side as well, over here, but it's not that good. So you just go straight into the corner, look straight up, and it should detect like this sort of front area. It also can detect someone walking up over here, and that's pretty much what you can detect. This is out of range. Oh yeah, it is out of range, very slightly, 45 meters. So yeah, 45 meters is the max range for dizzy. So yeah, it doesn't quite detect over there on shops, but it does detect close over here. It does detect mid top as well. You can also do one, like, not through the window, because then you'll lose it, but you can do it like this. You can also crouch as well, just to kind of milk the extra couple seconds, or like the extra split seconds that Dizzy will be looking through the window. So you can do that one as well. If you're actually fighting for mid as well, you can just do Dizzy straight into mid, assuming that you're going to try and take mid as a team. If that is actually the plan, and you actually want to fully take mid, then don't be afraid of putting Dizzy in mid to then go reclaim when you've taken him. That was weird. But yeah, that's kind of what the extent is from mid. You can also thrash if you want to. But yeah, it's obviously situational, like depending on what they want to do. There's also the mosh as well for shop as well. You can do over here. This is also something you can do. Also, once again, situational to like stop people from running out here while your teammate fights this. Probably is like the most applicable for this mosh. But yeah, that's kind of it for mid. We're going to talk about A. So on A, you do have some options. You have, for instance, this, which is just you just do this straight up when they're like coming into the site. Basically, you don't have to jump or anything. You can just throw it straight up. Ideally, straight up, because then you can reclaim it. Because sometimes on Pearl, some teams will do like double smoke like this, right? And they won't take back site. So you actually have the option to then reclaim Dizzy and like get out, basically. So you can do that. You can also do things like bouncing Marsh off the wall to kind of help delay them coming out. Really strong. Use Wingman as well to also delay this as well. Wingman is less needed on this site than he is on B site. So if they are coming into A, you can use Wingman to defend yourself like this. Bear in mind as well, you probably won't even get that far. He probably will detonate around here, which means that if they do sort of give up the space once the bomb is planted and they're going to go play post plant, you can probably reclaim Wingman for the post plant. And because they probably let you, because they probably will just give up this space at some point. And provided you're still alive. But yeah, that's kind of how A goes. And then we'll talk about post plant. So post plant wise, there are some stuff you can do. If I remember correctly, there is a molly over here. More for when I'm rotating from B to A. I'm pretty sure it's like this or something. It's been a while since I've done this molly. I'm pretty sure you aim at like the bottom of this lamp. You jump through. I think it should hit the edge of the house. Yeah, it does. Or like whatever this is, like the Corona Cafe. And it should hit default, which is really good, right? It can help delay the plant, potentially. Or you can just push someone out this corner, alternatively, right? Which is quite good, potentially. If you have someone up here with no smoke, they can see this corner, and you can push someone out. It might be really good to get a free kill, potentially. I don't think there's any other mollies I have. You can obviously probably just like molly this corner. You can molly round this. Oh, actually, apparently you can't molly that corner very easily. You can probably molly around the corner as well. Get this corner. This type of stuff. There's a bunch of free throw ones you can do. Wingman you want to use to try and clear space, and then obviously pick up for the post plant to then defuse. So you can do this early on. If it's late in the post plant, you probably can't get away with using Wingman early, or like using Wingman to post plant to retake. So then you have to use him on the bomb. So you would be using Dizzy instead to like clear this space, basically. Obviously with Thrash as well, you can also use Thrash. Thrash is going to be used for the close angles. If you don't have any control, really good for all the close angles. As well, it kind of helps because A site is quite open, right? There's like 1, 2, 3, not really a corner. There's like 2 corners and dugout, I guess. So when you're retaking into it, there's like not much to retake. So Thrash can look at like 3 places, and then you can either go save him around here probably, or you can send him up into main and go disarm someone and put pressure on them by sending Wingman to defuse and that kind of stuff. You can also, if you don't have any like arc control, you can like ult from here and go take arc control, especially if you've got someone in connector to go punish the person you're going to go disarm. Or if alternatively, if you're the person in connector as well, you can do the same. And whatever, right? Whatever happens, right? Quickly, one more molly I forgot, which is you go to this corner, and then you can use this part of the hood on this corner here like this, and then you can jump through, and it should land for this default, or this plant. I call it default because it really should be where you're planting, but yeah, it should land for this plant. Basically, it just helps to delay as well if you're rotating from A, which is usually where you're going to be rotating from. Yeah, so that's kind of it for defense. We're going to move on to attack. Okay, so on attack, we'll start with A, and generally on A, or like on attack in general for Gekko, supplementing your Wingman with this, sorry, your Dizzy with Wingman is really, really good. So doing stuff like this can be really strong. The downside to this is you really do have to take the space to actually get your stuff back. So if you can't do that, it means that you probably shouldn't be sending wingman in, and it's about foresight basically. About if we are going to take this space, then I probably will be committing the wingman just to make sure we're definitely going to take the space. If you can't really take the space, and we're doing it more like a fake or something like that, right? We're not really committing to that space. We're just kind of seeing if there's anyone there. Then it might just be better to like commit the dizzy or just leave it to another initiator to do. Alternatively as well for main, you can use Thrash. And Thrash is really, really good at taking this area, like just generally getting space, or like seeing everything in an area. And then you can go reclaim him, and then you can use him for the exec as well. And he's actually really good on A to get everything, because there's very little that you need to see, and then you can bring him back. You only bring him back, obviously, if it's the first time you're using Thrash. If you did use him on main or somewhere else, then you're going to be committing him here, which is going to be either committing backside or committing dugout, something like that, right? So yeah, that's kind of how you use Thrash on A. You can also alternatively as well, if it is the first time and you bring him back here, then you can use Thrash for post plant as well, which is also really useful. So it just depends on what you really need to do. When it comes to actually sight as well with this stuff, wingman, the good plants are going to be this one. You can do a safe plant over here, but I wouldn't recommend it too much. If you can get this plant, I would recommend an open plant as much as possible, as long as you can safely get it. And wingman definitely helps that, because it eliminates some of the risk of getting shot at when you're planting. The reason why this plant is good as well is it literally is available to everywhere. Sight as well, and main is available to absolutely everywhere. So if you do have a long flank coming in, or you have a lot of people towards short, this open plant can be really good, along with one that's like maybe a bit closer to this. If you're not like getting a long flank, you can put it like open like this, right? Like if I do it like this, right? And what will happen is these people will see it, and main will see it, and sight will see it, but these people won't see it, so they can't really spam wingman. Next, I'm going to talk about the mosh that I've got here, which is against this corner. You don't really have to be very precise with it. You can just aim to the top of this line and then throw. And what will happen is it will land here, and it just stops the backside player from running out into flowers. And they have to run this way instead, which is a bit more of an unsafe area to be in, as it tends to get a bit more util dumped, which means you might get an extra kill here if you funnel the backside player in and that kind of stuff. Or just in general might get spammed a bit easier than if they were to run over to flowers and that kind of stuff. But yeah, it just makes life a bit easier, this Gekko molly does. You can also do one free throw at the back like this, which pushes them out either side. So if you're smoking like this and this, or this as well, and both sides are open, you might be able to get a punish on someone backside as well. So there's two options there for the mosh. Dizzy as well. Ideally, Dizzy you want to try and reclaim, so don't try and get it onto like the little cafe or onto the backside, because it's going to be harder for you to get to. So maybe try and do one off this wall and to get close if you don't have Thrash or whatever, and then you can go reclaim it with wingman if you want to do that as well. So yeah, that's it for actually attacking. So let's talk about post. So first of all, on post there is a molly you can do. You go up to this bar and then you aim at this orange part here. And you should land about here. Yeah, and gets the corner. That's just a visual bug. It will actually get that corner as well. That's just a visual bug. And then for post as well, other things we can do. If we have Thrash, we can use Thrash. You can also wingman as well for like close stunning. Especially if they put a smoke here, it can be quite good to use wingman in that situation to kind of clear the smoke out so you can use it. Because generally, if someone places a smoke here, if you own the smoke, it's so much better for you here. If they place this smoke ever, though, they're kind of trolling, because realistically they should be placing it on the bomb the majority of the time. But if they do place a close one, you can use wingman to clear it, you can use dizzy to clear it. But all your abilities are really good in these situations. So I don't feel like there's much need to go over, because they're quite easy to use as well in this situation. Next is mid. So in mid, there's not like a huge amount I have. Most of the time it is just sending dizzy through to assist teammates. There is a mosh here, which I can't quite remember. I think it's like this, right, on this chimney. I'm pretty sure it's this, but I could be wrong. It might be a jump throw. I'm pretty sure it's just a normal throw. Yeah, it is. Okay, so he gets this corner here, which is quite good. It's quite good. It just clears someone out if you have someone pushing this fast, like a Phoenix ult or a Neon ult or something. It can be quite nice just to push them out that corner, making my Julius's job a bit easier, potentially. Obviously, as well, you can send stuff over as well. A bit less reliably though. Also, you're very unlikely to get dizzy back doing this because you need to take the space. You can also do ones over this as well. You can do ones through the window as well, over here. Or not like that, like this. Oh, I didn't know I could get it stuck like that. That's pretty cool. You can also do it like this as well. Like see into the window for like a couple of seconds or like split seconds. It's not that really that good though. Realistically, you just want to be playing like through art like this. You can also, once again, as I've already mentioned as well, you can use Wingman if you're sure you're going to take the space. You can use Wingman and Dizzy to take the space. It's two things for the enemy team to shoot. It's a lot more pressure than just Dizzy. Obviously, Thrash as well also applies here. You can just clear things with Thrash. I won't demonstrate much because it's just clearing corners with Thrash, really. And then you can make sure you just leave it in a place you can pick it back up. So then you can use it again either in post or to take the site. And that's pretty much mid. That's pretty much mid. A lot of it is just situational, help your teammates, clear space. That's literally all you need to think about on Gekko. Next is B. And on B, there is a specific Dizzy that's really good here. And you want to basically throw it quite low as well. So this is the Dizzy, because what it will do, it will detect close on these corners. And it will also actually get over here. It'll actually be in range of backhaul. So you'll actually get everything cleared that's visible from here. And you'll also get everything, well, aside from on top of this, you won't get that cleared, I'm pretty sure. Because you'll activate a bit late, so you'll get, like, the edge done, but you won't get, like, this side done, because it'll be blocked by the column, or, like, the pillar. The reason why you want to do it low as well is because if you do it high, it can sometimes get caught on this little ledge here. So you want to make sure you do it quite low, so that doesn't happen, basically. You can also use Thrash clear as well. Thrash, when it's up, it's one of those things that is just really strong. As long as you just leave it in a position you can pick it back up, like in this corner, then it's good to go for the post plant, good to go for the actual execute in like 30 seconds or whatever, after on the second cycle. You can also use Dizzy as well, like this, after the first climb. You can use Wingman as well, the same way as well. But generally on B, you don't really want to be using Wingman like this. You'll generally be planting quite fast. So you don't really want to be using Wingman to then go pick him back up and then plant. Generally, you want to be planting here with Wingman, generally. Or in the open as well, if you have like a good amount of time, you can even plant like this. Which can sometimes be a bit better if you have a long flank. Right there. And it stops your teammate from having to shoot through the box if it's planted here. Just a very, very small thing, though. For the most part, you should just be planting here because it's just safer for Wingman anyway. For the actual post plant, generally, I won't be going towards backhaul because I have Gekko. I have Mosh, and I have decent ways to delay, right? I have Thrash. So if I do want to Thrash from here, I can. I have Dizzy, which is really strong in post because they have to shoot Dizzy or they get blinded. So they have to be active other than diffusing to actually dodge the flash or to like break the flash. Wingman can be good as well for just like generally like running at them and stunning them. And Mosh, there is like 2 mollies I have for Mosh over here. So you go into this corner, aim at this, and I'm pretty sure it's just a throw, but it could be a jump. No, I'm pretty sure it's just a throw. Yeah, it's just throw. And it lands here. You actually get this, which is nice. And the other one is in this corner. So the idea is that this one, you're playing in more central area. This one, you can play a bit more defensively if they're going to try and push you. This one is a bit less defensive if they're going to push you. But yeah, this one, you go into this corner, you aim at the top of this line, you jump throw, and it should land for default. But yeah, if you have Thrash up though, you are going to be quite close. So yeah, you're going to be free throwing the Mosh from there probably. If you have Mosh up, sorry, if you have Thrash up, then you're probably going to be in this on this pillar. So you want to try and do like free throws like this. I don't have a lineup or anything. I also think as well there is actually a lineup here. So this is also an execute one as well, but you can use it in post. You go to like these sort of the 2 tiles, and you aim at the top of this, like this, and jump throw. It should land and clear this corner. So you can use this in post, and you can use it in execute as well. Both of them work. I'm pretty sure as well there's also, I forgot to mention as well on the execute, there's this one as well. Obviously, like doing this screens is quite good. But you can I generally save Mosh for post, because it's really, really strong. Post plant on this map, on this site, sorry, is really, really important. So saving Mosh as much as possible for it is really, really nice. You can also do a bit more of a lined up version as well if you go to this corner and aim at the top of this line. Pretty sure that will then land pretty centrally here. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, those are like all the Moshes, and that's kind of everything for this Gekko guide. So if you have any questions, if I didn't really explain something enough, or if you have any other questions about Gekko on this map, then feel free to put them in the comments below, and I'll see you in my next one.